Okay, they're on their formation lap.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone. Welcome back.
Right, so we are on formation lap.
Yep.
A couple of drivers warming up their tyres. I can see P1 Dylan just giving a little wiggle. It's quite a long, I know it's only a short formation lap anyway, but it's quite a long setup for Laguna Seca. You have to go down the corkscrew, you get a little sighter of the corkscrew there, and you go through a couple of corners. You've got a lot of time to get yourself settled, a lot of time to get your tyres into the groove.
Oh, brilliant view there. As we go green light, now. Go. Rocky getting away really well, but I don't know how to say it, but the crew trying to go around the outside doesn't get the moves done.
I think we just say THKKR.
Oh, and it's carnage at the back. This Spinners Tropic Rocks round, P1 Gamers Dad's round, TSR Jamie's round. Oh my god, Alexander's round.
That is a major drama.
I'll jump back to start.
At the exit of turn 1, a lot of carnage. That's going to take a lot of unravelling.
Flat track, which qualified.
You're back, and we can see you can see the top 7 drivers as I have it, very close together.
Oh yes.
Do we know who instigated that trouble at the back? Was it?
No,
THKKR has just gone flying. What happened there? He just seemed to completely lock up and head straight on at that corner. Need to see where THKKR has ended up there, hopefully with no damage. We were here previously for race 1 at Laguna Seca. The track temperature is all the way down at 23 degrees, so in qualifying when the sun was out, don't forget we had a track temperature of 33 degrees. For the race now, ladies and gentlemen, is another 10 degrees cooler. Has that affected some of the drivers in their decisions from tyre pressures? Has THKKR, for instance, put a little bit too little pressure in his tyres, run him a little bit cold, and just gone flying off with a lack of grip on lap 1?
Flat track is all over his not teammates, but
Flat track 98. We saw him from race 1. Does not have a lot of patience. He's got a lot of pace, but not a lot of patience, and he is all over the one of the P1 Bentleys. Dylan 2-0, car number 22. Bit of Bentley on Bentley action here. And Brocky currently at the front with a lead of 2.9 seconds early doors. And that is all because his pressure has gone. His racing partner, THKKR, lost it and is now sitting back in 8th position. We are on an old circuit here with an old surface. It's very abrasive, can be very dusty because all the sand on the outside of the circuit. That can catch drivers out early doors. And that temperature is dropping, of course, all the time now as the cloud cover comes in. The time ticks on.
That the fact that the track temperature is already 23 degrees Celsius. What was it in qualifying, by the way?
It was 33 degrees in qualifying, so it's come down by 10 degrees. That's going to really affect tyres.
Quite significant,
if drivers weren't paying attention there.
Can't really
look
see
at Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, can't really see the sky, can we, with the limited amount of views and
The limited
angles
amount of
we've
cameras
got.
we have, we can sort of it suggests it's quite gloomy though, and
Yeah,
the little
just
snippets
wondering
we see is quite
whether...
grey, quite
Yeah.
overcast. We got
Oh, wow.
look at Militant 95 here in his Audi. Very, very quick driver, but he has been the driver in the past that's been caught out by cold tyres. Seems to have made a decent start here though, 4th place.
And someone's pitted already. Missed the death zone.
Death zone in the pits, is that because of damage, do you think, or do you think he completely ran the wrong tyres, wrong tyre pressures?
Fuel? Yeah, God knows. Anything at all. And it's not the time to pit either. Not that you'd want to pit on lap 3.
You wouldn't want to, but there's no mandatory.
Sorry
There's no
about
mandatory pit window here. Carry on, sorry.
The TSR GT Welsh just went off a bit, had a bit of a moment. Militant did get past? Yeah, he had. And now he's got P1 Dylan all over him.
Hasn't he? He's got one of the P1 Bentleys, and Flat Track is also in there somewhere, and he will take every opportunity that's given to him. Sometimes he'll steal an opportunity that isn't given to him as well.
Yeah, and to back your point up about the tyres and the track temperature, Mustafa in the comments, I believe
Man United,
yeah, e-racing, he said that the track gets cold quickly, and his tyres, after 10 minutes of the race were cold. So that's interesting.
Absolutely, he had a fantastic race. We saw him get an absolutely incredible start, and he had the composure and the competence to not make any real massive errors, and he just nailed lap after lap. But we could see that over time he was sort of struggling to keep it together, and he was pipped in the end. So a good podium. Big
battle up here with P1 Dylan, TSR, well, we'll just call him GT Welsh and Flat Track. They're all over each other. And I don't know if you noticed, but Mr. Death Zone actually span out of the pits at a bit of a moment.
I think he was, like I've mentioned it before, that Andretti hairpin, whether they're in the pit lane or on the main circuit, it's very, very dusty and very slippy. As soon as you plant the throttle down there, it's very, very, very easy to spin up those back wheels, and if you're eager to get out of the pit lane...
and he's got a stop-go penalty for it.
That's probably for crossing the white line, I imagine.
The line,
so not a very good start for Mr. Death Zone. We know he's got pace, we know he can race, but not good, because he had cleared his mandatory pit, so if he could just stay on those tyres, go long, he could have been somewhere, but now he's got
Flat Track all over the back end, but GT Welsh is also trying to send it down into turn 1, and he's gonna get the moves. Hold on, Flat Track trying to make a move around the outside. Can't quite make it.
GT Welsh maintains position in that TSR Aston Martin, is it?
I believe so, yeah.
And we have the P1 Bentley of Dylan.
They are so
marshalling the front. Flat Track, you can just sort of feel him getting agitated, feel him getting impatient. He's always got that risk of just making a dodgy pass, but so far so good.
Do you know this is possibly his favourite corner, turn 6? He likes to dummy it. We saw him do it on Kyle, on AFP Kyle.
As I just check in with the leader Brocky, he's got a lead of 5.2 seconds, he's on his own. All it's got to be for Brocky is head down, concentrate, consistency, simple as that. Or is it? Temperature's coming down, 21 degrees on the track now. It's never going to be simple, is it?
Oh no.
And GT Welsh not looking to make a move at the moment. I think he's just happy to keep position, apply pressure. He's also got to defend against an increasingly impatient Flat Track.
There's a few battles on track, Stu. Actually, P1 Valium.
Yeah, we have another.
There's actually that he's got the move done, and he's got past RPM. Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And we also have THKKR, who had slipped down the order in the first couple of laps, is now in 12th place and running a bit of a race on his own at the moment, trying to chase the pack. Gamer Dad further down as well. I would have expected more from him. I'm not sure if I think he was caught up in that that drama at the start. In the P1 Bentley, currently chasing down the TSR car of Jimmy.
And back to the battle we were watching, flat track, sort not falling away, but and Milton's gone off in the corkscrew.
Who's gone off?
Milton. Can't get a good angle on it because of the stupid streaming system we've got, but he has gone off, and for some reason it's not updating.
Here he is in the sand there.
There we go, yeah.
We've seen Milton do that before. He tends to have a little bit of he's got all the pace, but he has a little bit of trouble on tyres early on, and we are in that window now where, as he just spins around again, actually, I've just seen in the background, Milton has just spun again. I think he's flat spotted those tyres, so he's going to have to be very, very careful for a little while. But we do see that with Milton. I think we're in that window now where we're 7 or 8 laps in. The tyres have just worn themselves in, got rid of the cream on top of the tyres there. So we're just seeing that grip run off, that initial grip run off before the tyres settle in for the duration of the rest of the stint.
Yeah, GT Welsh had a bit of a moment then in turn 4, or sorry, the exit of turn 3. Just that little straight, he had a bit of a moment and he corrected it well, and he hasn't lost him too much time to
well, they're still sitting in formation here, aren't they? We've still got 1, 2, 3 very close together, obeying the rules. They're racing clean, keeping it fair, but they're staying close. I think if anything, flat track is displaying a slightly more sensible side here. We have car number 869, that's Mr. Deathzone again with a stop and go for speeding in the pit lane. I think that might be getting caught out of the entry. We know here at Laguna Seca the pit speed limiter is very, very close to the entry. You've got to scrub off all of that speed as soon as you hit the pit lane entry. If you don't, you're coming back very, very soon. I wonder if Dylan's going to be able to keep GTR Welsh behind him. GTR Welsh does seem to have the pace. He's all over the back of that Bentley.
Yeah, he's doing well.
It depends how much GTR Welsh values that space. Does he just want to give it up for the sake of getting a little bit of clean air?
Yeah.
Oh, GTR Welsh just runs a little bit wide there, and he's opened the door for flat track on the entry to turn 9, is it? As we go, no, turn 6, as we go up to the corkscrew, the difficult breakdown of the corkscrew.
That was good racing from flat track, I must say. Just he didn't
really good.
Take the position, did he? If he did, probably would have been a crash. So he did well. He had a
look at the inside. He says, "Don't worry about it. I'm still here. You make a mistake, I'm going to come through."
Oh yeah.
As I just checked back in with the Australian, as Mr. Deathzone appeared to be crawling across the sand again after another pit stop. He's not doing very well. Doesn't look like he's practicing his pit stops before this race, but Brocky is currently in the lead by 17 seconds. Can you believe it?
Wow. Well, that would be caused by this and his pure pace. But,
absolute pure pace. But the track temperature is cooling. There's still 47 minutes in this race. It's only going to take one little bit of drama. One little bit of drama.
And it's happening again. GT Welsh doing the same thing, just losing the back end a little bit, enough to make it a correction. And flat track also did the same thing. So I wonder if either the track.
Well, don't forget he's following a Bentley, which is creating a big hole in that air. So he's fighting through dirty air. That Aston Martin depends on downforce. You can see how that car's been modelled, and it's just taking away a little bit of that drag, a little bit of that air resistance to use for grip in the corner. So it's going to be a little bit looser on corner entry. He's got to look to make a move pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to throw the race away, but
oh, hello,
gotta try and
GT
have a
Welsh
look
is
somewhere.
now seems to be
Yeah.
pushing a bit more. Seems to be.
He's going to make I can see him making a dive down to Andretti. He doesn't
Yeah.
like sitting behind this Bentley. He does
No.
not like it one bit.
But,
Rocky seems to be content to let them fight it out at the moment.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think he minds at all, does it? Oh no! I think
He's off.
I think I know what happened then.
He outbroke himself.
He did, yeah. Completely outbroke himself. I think what he saw in his eyes was him going to the back of Dylan, and I think maybe he did the right thing by pulling away from that and stopping the incident.
Absolutely. We see Dylan now, the absolute model of composure, has held position, and GT Welsh, as we thought might happen, needed to make a move, made a move, didn't pay off this time. But he's got pace, he can chase back up to that pack. We now see a much more composed flat track 98 able to set out on his quest to chase that Bentley down himself now.
Yeah, that's it's done a good job for flat track, because now he was he really battling GT Welsh? Because at the end of the day, GT Welsh he had the pace for it, he was defending and he was all over Dylan. But I wonder if flat track's initial plan in his head was always to get the Bentley in front.
For my money, he was just playing rear gunner. I think he was just waiting for something to happen between GT Welsh and Dylan. He was just sitting there waiting. He was saying, "I will mop up once this goes to pot," and he's done that. And now he's going to try and chase that little stretch of tarmac he's got between the Bentley in front of him and try and apply some pressure himself, I guess.
Yes. Do you know what? I wouldn't take GT Welsh out of this battle though. The third or in later stages coming.
Absolutely not. We know he's still got the pace. It was only a little off. It was no major drama. He outbroke himself. He got out of the way. He didn't cause an incident. He may have a little bit of flat spotting on his tyres, but that will soon leave him once he puts a few laps down. We've got THKKR in pits. Hopefully that's just a early pit stop for him. Hopefully he's just pitted his normal stop early and he's going to go on to the end of the race and he hasn't got any further issues. We've also got Militant in the pits after his succession of offs. I guess he actually scrubbed those tyres he had on, so he's got to come in for some new boots.
And look how much time Flat Track gained on Dylan already.
A bit of clear air does an awful lot. Now 3/10 away, but he's going to be in that dirty air now. He's going to be overheating that engine. He's going to be taking that little bit of downforce off the car. But that Bentley is a rock, so it's not going to affect him as much. It's an absolute rock. It is planted.
My attention's been brought to the pit lane with THKKR. Apparently he's been in the pit lanes for 2 laps.
Okay.
And something must be wrong.
It may be a retirement, maybe a mechanical issue, may have taken too much damage when he had one of those offs early on. Big shame, because it looked like that was going to be set up for a really good race.
And Flat Track, sorry Stu, Flat Track has got the move done. He's got Dylan.
I just spotted that as they charge up the hill, but Dylan is already taking a peek. No, he hasn't got the distance to do it this time.
Wow. So it just shows, doesn't it, how Flat Track was sort of holding it back, really.
What a difference a race makes, Bailey. And
oh yeah.
We saw in the previous race he got a little bit ahead of himself. He was a little bit hot-headed. This time round, he's cool, calm, collected, and he's reaping the rewards.
Indeed. Track temperature now down to 20 degrees.
And it is going to fall away rapidly as that sun just dips over the horizon here in California. As soon as that sun disappears, there's still a little bit of daylight here. As soon as that sun disappears, we're going to see that track temperature fall away rapidly. The drivers now need to be thinking, what are my tyres doing? Am I losing pressures? I need to think, what am I going to put into the tyres going into the second stint, as Flat Track I believe, is coming under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
I always find it easier to follow than to lead. You know, you haven't got that pressure on. You've got the braking zones, the brake lights of the cars in front to follow. You can follow their lines. It's always a little bit easier when the pressure's off you. So can flat track, we've seen him being bullied. Oh! Dylan is off, he hits the sausage curve on the inside. He goes absolutely flying at turn 6. And flat track now has all the clear air he could possibly want. And where's that going to leave?
And there's GT Welsh, by the way.
Where's that going to leave Dylan? So I'll tell you where it's going to leave him. It's going to leave him where he was 5 laps back.
Yeah.
With GTR Welsh on his exhaust pipe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and GTR Welsh going around the outside. Oh.
And it's another sausage curve for Dylan.
Yeah.
I think he may have scrubbed his tyres here. Just might have chucked his tyres away. Might be an early pit stop for Dylan. The TSR car of GT Welsh, just like that, is back on the podium. How quickly a race can change.
Indeed. And can't quite see the. Ooh, what's that? A battle? FSR side by side with someone then. Didn't catch up yet. Oh, 16th battle.
Okay. Yeah.
Huge battle.
Oh, I see 3 cars. I think they're back markers. Flat
One's
trying
back
to.
marker, yeah.
They're not going to be very keen to give position away, are they? Here we go. And flat track was on the lights there, flashing in Paddy's rearview mirror as that back marker, DB007, runs wide at the corkscrew. And did Flat Track's now got a lead to GT Welsh. As Dylan has been overtaken by GT Welsh. That's a 5-second deficit, but GT Welsh now with clean air is going to be looking to hunt down Flat Track. Hope you're all enjoying the race streams. This is our first night at SOP Motorsport, Laguna Seca, race 2. So we're going to start to see people try and jump into the pits now. We're going to start to come into that time when people want to put new boots on, get into their second stint, get into the meat and gravy of this race, just settle in and put some laps down. I think Flat Track's going to want to stay out for as long as possible now he has a clean air. I think GT Welsh might want to pit. He's got back markers in front of him, he's got Dylan on his exhaust pipe. Might want to come into pit now, take the pressure off himself, put some new tyres on, see if he can maintain that podium later in the race. What do you reckon, Bailey?
Yeah, I think he's got. I mean, he's in contention, isn't he, really? I must say though, I'm really loving this. The 3-way battle we had at the front. It's really entertaining. Something we didn't miss it in the last race, but it's something that just makes it that little bit more exciting to talk about. And
yeah, absolutely. The podium is a much more tangible thing for people to grip onto, and if there's a race for a second and third and second and third place, then people are going to be all the more excited for it. I just want GT Welsh to be thinking about pitting here.
Well, like I said earlier,
he's just picked up a gap. He's just picked up a gap of 2 seconds.
Wow.
So I don't know if Dylan struggled to get through the back marker, because I saw GT Welsh fly past the back marker.
Well, Paddy did let I think GT Welsh through on turn 1 in the hairpin.
Yeah.
But what might have happened was that he came back onto the racing line, and the next few corners is barely anywhere to let someone pass. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did get caught up. It's not a backmarker style at the end of the day. So
it depends what you want to do. I mean, my mentality, I always say backmarker, time to pit. You know, when I start seeing the backmarkers, I've got to think, is this going to cost me time? Should I pit now? And in Dylan's case, it's cost him 2 seconds.
yeah.
Just going to catch up with the leader, with Brocky.
Yeah,
he's obviously in a race of his own at the moment.
Oh, indeed he is. And what's interesting about watching these leaders, something you don't see when they're on their own is a different story. I feel like he's literally showing, look how fast, I can't get over it, he's showing real speed, like going through the corners, going on the straight. Everything looks like a qualifying lap. Does not look like he's showing any sort of slowing down. I don't think he's going to slow down. And
he's super
amazing.
Super comfortable. He's still got to make a pit stop though, Bailey, and things can happen. The flat track is having the race he probably deserves after a poor showing in race 1. He excited us in race 1, but he didn't quite get the finish he wanted for a few mistakes. He's in second place now with a 7-second gap from GT Welsh, who now himself has a 3-second gap to Dylan. So Dylan is falling backwards. He's going to really want to think about pitting soon. Track temperature's down to 19. Those drivers are going to be really struggling to keep pressure in those tyres, aren't they? The temperature's going to be falling off a cliff. And we have got news in. We believe THKKR has definitely retired, and also Mr. Deathstone, I believe, is he still on the track or is he in the pit lane? There's a few drivers that are now sitting in the pit lane. Had too much of a good time at the start of the race.
Yeah, I mean, you know the rule. Well, I know the rules, but you know the way of GT endurance racing.
Yeah.
How is it? Because obviously, in other sorts of races where these laps are not a time, not that it makes too much of a difference. You're not always thinking about pushing. And I feel like in this, what we're watching now, everyone seems to be just get on with it, push as hard as you can, get on with it, and just take the race how it comes. Is that how it is?
Yeah. In this format, this is still considered a sprint race, so this is an hour long, so it's considered a sprint. Something longer than an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, you know, it can even be 24 hours. You will see drivers playing for stints rather than laps. This is how some of the drivers here, I can see some of the drivers playing their game. You can see people that have a really nice race, like TDI in 5th place. They're playing a conservative race. They know this race is an hour long. They know they need to make a pit stop. They know they need to string lap after lap to get a good result. And look at TDI, he's been in no dramas. There he is in 5th place, and that's the kind of driver we want to see. And then you've got other drivers like Brocky, like Flat Track, who can only see the next lap in front of them. You know, they're just flat out start to finish. And I think it gives us a nice mix of drivers, a nice mix of fights as well. But yeah, like I say, with an hour's race, it is still a sprint. You've only got half an hour on tyres, and that's what it boils down to. Half an hour is not long on these GT tyres. It's not like Formula 1 where you've got 7, 8 laps, your tyres start to really fall away, and you've got to think about pitting within 15 laps or so. These laps are designed to last you an hour in any car, but obviously that depends how much you push them. But yeah, these tyres can go to the end of the race, so when you've only got half an hour to do on these tyres, then you can push a little bit harder. It's just about your concentration. An hour is still a long time. You've got to concentrate lap after lap as the track gets darker, as the track gets cooler, and you've got to make every lap the same as the last. It's not very easy to stay consistent, and that's the key.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is the key in most racing, isn't it? Rallying, and just everything, I think. And just keeping that control, and something that these cars, they're all different, and that's what is quite interesting as well, is how we were talking last race with the Porsche drama. Every Porsche basically span had some sort of drama towards the end.
they fall away? Yeah, because that fuel, the fuel tank is right over the front axle, right over the front of the car. But that's the only way it's over the front in the Porsche, because of course the engine's at the back. So as soon as you lose that fuel, you lose balance, and the car just turns on 6 months. It starts to over-rotate, and it's very, very difficult to maintain a rhythm. And that's what it's all about in this racing, in GT racing. It's all about rhythm, and it's very, very difficult to maintain that rhythm when the track temperatures are falling off a cliff, like we see here, now down to 18 degrees, which is really going to start putting excuse the pun, pressure onto those tyres.
Yeah. Just jumped into the pack. 9th and 8th are battling. And Flat Track's coming up to them as for them to
yeah, so we have Dark Blue Dan.
Yeah.
In a little battle, 1.5 seconds behind is the RPM car Orson. The red and yellow Audi chasing that Aston Martin down, Dark Blue down. And Flat Track obviously trying to pass with Flat Martin. Might give Dark Blue down a little bit of a breather here.
Yeah.
But he will soon have to pull off the racing line himself, as we just crossed the halfway point of this race.
Yeah, and what a halfway point it is. It's been jam-packed full of action and all sorts.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to have passed the massive drama with Flat Track and Dylan, but that could soon come to the fore. Don't forget, these drivers have not pitted yet. We can see Tropic Rot's just pitted, but the leaders, the top 5, have not boxed.
Which is interesting, isn't it? Because, well, I'd like to know your input on this, because in Formula 1, your tyres go and you want to pit. But in GT racing, is it different?
It's less. It's certainly less tyre dependent. It's more strategy dependent. Because in an hour's race, these tyres can last you an hour, and they will last you an hour.
Yeah.
But it is down to how deep you want to run that pit stop. You have to pit. It's not a case of it's an option. It's a mandatory pit stop. You have to pit. You have to change tyres. So when do you pit? We've got Brocky currently coming up against some back markers. Does he think, right, this is my moment, I've pushed my luck, I've had loads of clear track, now's my time to come in and put new boots on, because I have to.
We've got drama in the pit lane.
Okay, go for it, what we got?
RPM also, and I think he's struggling to get his car into the actual pit box. He's back and forth, and now he's forward. He's just reversing and trying to connect maybe with, they're all doing it, mind. GT Welsh did it just a little bit, but...
Are they ever going to switch their engines off?
Yeah. True.
Let's hope they manage to resolve this little comedy of errors, as RPM Orson is still struggling. And GT Welsh is leaving the pit lane. It's nice time to join GT Welsh. Let's see where he's going to find himself. There's a stop and go penalty for car number 59. That is Dark Blue Dan, so that is interesting. So we had Dark Blue Dan and RPM Orson in a battle. Is RPM pitting yet?
Oh, the lead is pit, by the way.
Is Brocky in the pits?
Brocky's in the pit and Flat Track, so this could be interesting, because that's going to bring the gap
leaving
down.
The pits.
See how quickly Flat Track will get away.
RPM Awesome has managed to complete a pit stop. And looks like Flat Track should be leaving the pits soon. But where's he going to come out? Because don't forget, Dylan
there he is.
Stayed out.
Oh wow. Okay.
Dylan stayed out, so he's got a little bit of clear track. He's a long way behind. He had 10 seconds behind.
And Flat Track's moving.
Flat Track. So I don't think he's going to be threatened by a pit stop. It would have to be a hell of a pit stop for Dylan to get anywhere near Flat Track, I think, here. And Brocky is out into clean air, so that's just a double win for Brocky. He hasn't come out of the pits and faced a traffic jam. As we watch Flat Track leave the pits.
You've got to be careful though, like you said.
It is a messy pit exit,
Oh yeah.
and especially when you squeeze that power down, when he seems to get away clean enough, he's got clear air in front of him. There seems to be a little bit of interest from Militant looking at P1 Valiant. The gap is half a second. Militant, who had dramas early on, is now fighting for P10.
So have a little check in. Yeah. I've got a lovely livery he's got on.
What, Militant?
In the Audi.
Yeah, it reminds me of Cool Runnings. He's got the Jamaican flag livery Audi.
Very nice.
It is gorgeous. He's got the bit between his teeth. He took a bit too much to the inside there, Militant, because of the corkscrew.
And P1 Dylan still yet to pit.
Dylan yet to pit. He is running very deep, but we talked about this in race 1. Those Bentleys can run 4 miles on old tyres, so I don't think we're too worried. He'll be looking to think, when am I going to pit? But he is coming up against back markers, so I don't see the benefit in him staying out at the moment.
What? Oh, I was going to say. What would be the benefits of running long?
The only reason I can see for Dylan to want to run long is to get a handle on what the temperatures on track are going to be. To say, okay, what am I going to put into the tyres? How much pressure am I losing here? And also, I've got clear air, therefore I'm putting laps in. I could pit and come up against 3, 4, 5 back markers.
Yeah.
There's no way of calculating it. These guys, they don't have spotters saying you're going to come out and clear air pit now. And they've got to make that decision themselves, and they've got an awful lot to think about. So that's probably what he's thinking about. What am I going to put in the tyres? He might even be managing that on his MFD. When am I going to box? I would be thinking of boxing pretty soon, since it's coming up against traffic.
Yeah, because even, I don't know if this is only me, but my logic is, if I'm fighting back markers, then the person that is going to want to take my position will also have to fight back markers.
Yeah,
but if you pit and take that bit away, it also takes it away from the other guy, because if you pit, then you're going to have to come out either ahead of him or behind him. So
but you've got to think, what's your battle? He's not going to stay ahead of flat track. There's no way. He was too far behind. But he is fighting with GT Welsh.
Yeah.
So he's got to think, how much am I gaining on GT Welsh at the moment? Should I pit now and try and get out in front of him? Has GT Welsh got clear air, etc., etc.? Because GT Welsh at the minute has got no one in front of him, no one around him. He's just putting in laps. He's just having a training day. So that could be the worry for Dylan, in my book.
Just watching GT Welsh fly past my on screen there. Just a lovely. I just love the Aston Martin so much. The GT3, the look, the front of the car, everything is amazing.
Gorgeous.
I think
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just a shame they don't have a bigger engine in it.
What are they running? V8?
Went down to the V8 for this version of the Aston. Still sounds absolutely gorgeous, the exhaust notes on that thing.
Well, the Symphony of Pistons, right?
It is a Symphony of Pistons. And GT Welsh is currently in 4th place, and all we're waiting on really is for Dylan to make his stop, because that's where the moves are going to happen. But we do have Militant still all over the back of 10th place P1 car Valiant. Can you see? He is absolutely. He could reach in and grab something out of the boot.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Militant has been. He's shown speed more than anything. He did lose his consistency, didn't he? Because he had a bit of a moment. I can't really remember now, though.
He had some bother on cold tyres early on, on lap 7 or 8.
Yeah, so
he is like a fine wine. He does improve with age. Towards the last stage of a race, he is great. He's just a little bit frosty on cold tyres. but you can see him now absolutely mugging the car of Valium, the P1 Bentley. And even though he's leading the race, we're not commentating on him much because there's not much to commentate on. Brocky's just putting a perfect lap after perfect lap after perfect lap. And I'm sorry to say, it's a little bit boring, Brocky. It's absolutely beautiful driving. But he's just got no competition here, has he? He's got a 14-second lead to a car that hasn't yet boxed.
Yeah. Oh, and was that P1 Valium just was going slightly wide? He took the corner too tight, and the exit was wide. I'm not too sure if he was trying to. Maybe that was.
Do an awful lot.
If maybe he was doing it on purpose to try and get that extra exit out of the corner.
Might be. The Bentley is quite stable if you run off on the exits. It's not one of those small nimble cars that can get really unsettled on the curbs. However, you are going to be under pressure when you've got those headlights in your rear view mirror. It's hard to not concentrate on those. It's hard to not look at them. You can sort of tilt your mirror away and try to avoid them. But those headlights are always going to find a way into your car.
Yeah. What's your experience with night racing? Mine's not the best, but with
not huge amounts of night racing. I quite like it because I mean I quite like just stringing together lap after lap and just forgetting about everything else. And daytime often comes with a false sense of security where you think you can push a little bit harder. At night time you just sort of get settled into a night drive. But the one thing you really have to monitor, and the one lottery almost, is tyre pressure, because you never know how much that track temperature is going to fall off.
Yeah. I mean, the drivers are lucky in terms of the fact that it's a degree higher than it was in the last race. That degree will, in sense, it'll give more grip.
It may manifest itself,
yeah.
But it's not itself going to give more grip. It depends what pressures the drivers have put into their tyres in the second stint. Some of them might have put the pressures to the right degree, 27, 28 psi. Other drivers may have got it completely wrong and just put in the same pressures they had in quali, 24s, 25s, in the hope that they can generate some heat and pressure when the tyres go around the track. But that's not going to happen when the track temperature is only 17 degrees. 16 degrees now, the track temperature, so it is getting...
Oh, it has dropped, yeah. And the wind, quite a not too much, is it? 5 kilometers
No, not really.
an hour.
We're in California, we're in the middle of California. There's not much going on in terms of turbulent air. No threat rain. There's a little bit of cloud, which is probably going to help the temperature a little bit, to be quite honest. But
yeah, so the cloud will either do two things. Either keep the hot air in, like sometimes it does in America, in California. It tends to keep the ground tends to keep hotter because of the cloud coverage, but it seems to be quite a thick cloud coverage we're seeing, and we just got a lovely camera angle then actually of the clear sky. I think it's a mixture of both of those that's keeping the track at about 16 degrees Celsius, 17 degrees Celsius.
Looks like Millicent is getting out of shape.
He was then, wasn't he?
Again, that could be just tyre temperatures. We won't know what's going on with the tyres of these drivers' cars until afterwards, until we speak to them, and they'll be able to tell us what was going on. But we heard from race 1 that the drivers were having real trouble keeping temperature into the tyres. And of course, it's not important. There's only one line through these corners. It's dusty anyway. They're quick, cambered corners. If you get it a little bit wrong on cold tyres, you can be flying off into the sandpit. And we have seen that manifest itself in the fact that Militant has now fallen off the back of the P1 car rebellion. Gap now up to 1.5 seconds.
Yeah. So Flat Track is in second. GT Welsh quite far behind.
So Dylan did pit.
He did, yeah.
And did come out behind GT Welsh. What's the gap?
I couldn't tell you because they ain't going up.
The gap is 13
13
seconds, so that's quite a safe distance then.
Oh yeah.
And we've got, with 15 minutes left of this race, drivers 1, 2 and 3 are just going to look to consolidate their position.
Yeah.
Look down the back of the grid, and we see RPM Orson and Dark Blue Dan, who were having a fight before, had those major issues in the pits, and now languishing down the back of the field there.
Mr. Dead Zone after... Where did he start, by the way? He had a moment, I saw that, but where did he actually start?
Mr. Death Zone was a quick driver, I cannot remember what position he started on the grid.
He's had a similar, well, I was going to say similar race to what Flat Track I had last time, but sadly he's not able to make up any of the positions he's lost. Possibly because of the pit stop though, so maybe we can see something in the next 14 minutes. Not long, but hopefully we can see something more happen.
It's going to be down to, for me, in terms of where I'm looking for positional change, it's going to be Gamer Dad is just about to make a pass on Tropic Rot actually, and has. It looks like he's just made that pass into turn 7, going into turn 6, sorry. Up to Corkscrew. Yes, he has made that pass on Tropic Rot.
It's an interesting track, I must say. It's one that catches the best of the best out, I think. And
yeah,
Mr. Death Zone, as like you said, the commentator's cursed, and he's crashed and he's stopped on track. He had a moment, and he's hit the wall. Don't think the damage is that.
He had a lot of problems early on with pit stops.
Yeah.
He had about 2 or 3
and he's,
stop and goes.
Second retiree, I think.
Third retiree, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
third.
second retiree, sorry, Death Zone, yeah. The shame for him and his shiny gold Ferrari. Certainly making a statement. Not the statement he wanted to make. So the real star stories of this, the people we haven't concentrated on and perhaps should have, is DB007, who did not have the best race and he was really struggling, but he is up to 5th place now. Deserves all the credit for a good race.
Totally. And P1 Gamer Dad, you were saying you expected a bit more, and he's now starting to gain quite a lot on CSX Isaac, which I've been keeping quite a close eye on in the other Bentley.
Yeah, he flew past the other P1 car of Valium, and now he's looking right down the barrel at CSX Isaac. Less than a second off. Both in Bentleys, battle of the Bentleys in the mid-pack here.
Battle of the Bentleys, I like that. Maybe we should make that a league event.
Certainly could. Where could we have it? On the open ocean it would have to be if we have 2 of the Bentleys.
Yeah. And I think the race is coming into this bit of a pattern in GT racing I found with the last one especially. There's a dull moment, but that dull moment isn't a dull moment for any of the drivers, because they've all got a mission. They've all got something on their mind, such as gaining on someone, overtaking someone, or maybe, God knows what they're all thinking, but
absolutely, some of those drivers will be just hanging on for dear life, trying to squeeze the last little bit of heat and pressure into their tired, cold tyres. Some of those drivers will be thinking, right, I've got 1.5 seconds. I've got a car in front of me who looks a little bit ragged. His lap times are a little bit erratic. Let's go.
I've got another question, not GT3 related as such, but stream related. Can you see on what you're looking at with the timings? Is like a colour next to the logo of the constructor? And some of them are red, some of them are half yellow, some of them are green.
They're numbers. I'm not sure what that corresponds to. That might be the driver category the drivers have selected on their car numbers. So you have Pro, Silver Class, Pro-Am and Am.
What about the other side?
The green bar.
No, the other side.
The other side? I think that's again an indicator of class. Pro-Am, Silver.
Yeah, for sure.
Pro. I think that's
okay. Yeah. Cool.
So if you had a 50 car grid, you would have them almost multi-class. You'd have Pro-Am, Silver, the Pro class drivers. 10 minutes to go.
10 minutes.
Gamer Dad has lost that gap. He is now 2.6 seconds down and back into the jaws of P1 Valiant, who's starting to feel a little bit excited. Got a bit of a wag in his tail. Gap now just 1 second with less than 10 minutes to go.
Valiant is gaining on P1 Gamer Dad.
Yeah, that's what I said. The gap is now down to 1 second.
So now 6/10. The game's lying to you, Steve. Oh, and have they done a bit of a position swap? And that seems to be a bit of a... Oh, and someone's gone off.
That was traffic rot, is that?
Yeah.
In the stand?
And that was quite interesting.
Just shows you do not want to take your eyes off this. Something happened between Gamer Dad and Valium. It was almost a handover of position there. Was it just late braking on Gamer Dad's part?
I don't know. I took it as maybe they're talking to each other and they said, Gamer Dad said, tell you what, I'll let you pass. Yeah. Yeah,
you've got the pace. Let's go. They are both from the same team. They're both P1 boys. We won't know until after the race, but a little bit of team orders.
Yeah.
Coming into the latter end of the race.
Yes, that was quite nice to see actually. A good place to do it. Turn one, let each other pass, and they're not lost positions into. Well, they have lost a position, but in reality, they're the same team, and it's good stuff.
Absolutely, and just coming back to the podium, guys, Brocky obviously leading this race without a care in the world, and two drivers that have done absolutely brilliantly. GT Welsh, after having some trouble in the middle stage of this race, in third place, absolutely brilliant, well deserved third place so far, and Flat Track in second. As Tropic Rot unfortunately had that dive off into the sand and finds himself all the way down in 10th place now. And Valium, after being let through, let's say, by Gamer Dad, is now hunting the CSX car of Isaac down.
I wonder if that was it. Because imagine, I don't know, because if Gamer Dad was stuck in with Valium now, but they never overtook each other, I'd assume straight away that they were basically ganging up on the next guy in front, which is sort of a team tactic. It will help the team in points and whatever.
Yeah.
And dark blue.
Dan, yeah. Is he going to make sure he has a safe re-entry onto the track? He does, in front of P1 Valium though. That might affect Gamer Dad's.
You know what? I really am intrigued what the position swap was about.
That looked to me, I mean, look at his pace, it's already on the back of Isaac.
Yeah,
Valium is already on the back of Isaac. I think that's very clearly Gamer Dad's got over the radio and said, look, I'm dropping pace, I cannot maintain pace, I'm losing tyre pressure, this is yours. And Valium looks to be making the most of it and really starting to cash in. Isaac under pressure.
something we might need to investigate actually, Stu, is the Porsche situation with not only Tropic, but Tropic did spin.
Yeah.
But it is making me just wonder if there is something different with the Porsche that, like you said, some people can't handle the
It's
fuel
the
load.
change over race
Yeah.
difference, over race distance. That's all it is. That car changes balance the whole way through a race. It does not change. It does not keep characteristics. We get lighter, we get faster, like a lot of other cars do. It completely loses its balance, and you need to be absolutely on it. To say that all Porsche drivers struggle in the latter stages is a myth, because we can see Brocky absolutely dominating the Porsche. But it does take a lot of effort, and an hour's a long time, and you're fighting and wrestling with that wheel, which you do have to do in the Porsche. It is a little bit more of a feisty little animal. You do see generally Porsche drivers, like we've seen here, and like we saw in race 1, especially as the temperatures come down, those Porsche drivers start to drop off towards the end of the race. We've seen that with Tropic Rot. We've seen that a little bit with THKKR didn't even get to the latter stages, but we've definitely seen the Porsches fall away, and the Bentleys, the cars that can go longer on their tyres, started to push their way up. And as mentioned in the comments, we have 3 P1 drivers or 4 P1 drivers in the top 10? 3 P1 drivers in the top 10.
Yeah.
So excellent showing from that team.
So, just asked in the comments, who's your driver of the day? And 2 people already, TDI 19 in the McLaren.
I said that earlier on, didn't I? I was like, we're ignoring him completely, but TDI, he or she, I'm not sure, is absolutely just driven the perfect race. Nothing dramatic, no fireworks, no bells and whistles going off anywhere, just driven lap after lap.
Yeah, they're completely rocking it.
And we do have to say, P1 Valium is now absolutely all over Isaac, so we might want to get the cameraman to just have a look there.
Oh wow,
2/10 of a second behind, absolutely all over it.
Do you know what I do like?
Yeah.
Is seeing the Bentleys fight. It looks different. It looks everything. I don't know. I honestly, just to the eye, it looks better. 2 Bentleys fighting. Same with every other car. 2 Porsches fighting, 2 Bentleys, 2 Astons. It just looks better.
I know what you mean, because you know there's nothing separating them but
exactly,
driver talent,
it's pure talent, yeah. It's amazing.
We have just seen Valium cannot quite maintain the pace when he gets up close to that other Bentley. Yeah, so TDI 19 has had an absolute stunner. 4 seconds behind P5. They were sitting in P5 at one point, but still a top 10 finish. Clean race. No dramas. It's always good when the commentator doesn't talk about you, to be honest. It means you haven't been involved in any trouble.
I mean, I'll give it with this driver, TDI, I mean, while do I watch this next lap?
If I was going to throw another hat into the ring, I would put flat track and GT Welsh in there.
Yeah, I was just about to say
just
GT
because
Welsh.
they had a very close battle that never really resulted in contact for quite a number of laps, and you can't discount that purely for just the visual impact.
Yes, certainly.
I'll leave it up to you for driver of the day, but I'm just going to chuck that hat into the ring as well. Just 2 minutes to go. Valium is once again within half a second. Tends to just drop off when that downforce gets scrubbed off. But can he maintain the pressure? Can he stay on the back? Can he make a move? 2 minutes left. Come on, people, Valium. If you're going to do it, this is the time. It's the only reason you got let through by Gamerdad. Now's your moment to make that move stick. Make it mean something.
What I've noticed with CSX Isaac is he is completely, he just seems down to earth, he just seems to be relaxed.
Yeah, just sticking to a nice defensive line.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
no amateur dramatics, no massive shifts
He's not cut it
offline.
across, he's not changed anything, I don't think. And I think we'll see this now when Valium goes to overtake.
I think we're going to see a move into the Andretti hairpin here.
Oh, I hope so.
Is that gap small enough? It's a half second. It's a half second. Is he going to send it with a minute to go? Too far behind, but right on the leader is on the final lap. Leader is on the final lap, so this is the final lap for Isaac and Valium. It is time to make a move. Can't take our eyes off this one. Is he going to be reckless? What he doesn't want to do is chuck away all his hard work. This is 8th place. This is still a top 10 finish.
Yeah.
He got a very good exit from turn 6 there. Very good exit.
You can tell he's pushing now, can't you? Yeah.
Oh, I can't look. Eyes are closed.
No!
Oh, and Isaac is wide.
But he's kept the position somehow.
Who got the best of that going into Rainer Curve?
Oh, wow.
Valium has the line.
Side
they're all out of shape. Isaac back on the inside, going into the final corner now. It has to happen now. It has to happen now.
Isaac's gone defensive.
He's picked the outside. He's going to go for the over-under.
Can he get the exit? This is going to be exciting.
Absolutely.
And he's
I think Isaac is just...
Yeah.
What a stunning
is
final
it one more lap?
That is the end of the race, I believe, is it?
Leader has finished the race.
No, they've got one more lap.
Are they still racing?
Yeah, the leader's finished.
Yes, they are.
Oh, no way.
Sorry about that, guys. And Valium is in front now. I think Isaac wanted the race to be over. I think Isaac wanted the race to be over, but it is not. These guys still have a race to complete, and Isaac is not giving up yet. He is right on the exhaust pipe.
He needs to be pushing now, doesn't he, Isaac? He
has not got the exit that he wanted out of turn 6. As they head up to the... Oh, this is turn 6, sorry. Here we go. As they head up the hill towards...
Oh, he's done what Valium did to him last time. Not quite... Oh my god.
He's going to have a look. Careful.
Oh, and Valium's gone wide.
Late braking, he's gone wide. He managed to hold position, he got back onto the track.
He's got it.
Isaac's got it. Unbelievable.
Wow. Can he keep
with
the
just
position
2
now?
corners to go?
Will Valium send it into the final corner?
Can the back marker Mr. Deathstone cause a bit of trouble here as well?
And he's gone for the up and under. Get the exit.
What an absolutely stunning last couple of laps from Isaac and Valium.
Wow.
Unbelievable. What a race. What an overtake, yeah. What
for those that don't know, flashing in GT3 with the lights is either an angry thing or a nice thing, so I'm sure that was a fashion to say.
Just here, it's either a here I am or watch this, you're going to miss your braking zone.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, what a race, ladies
wow.
and gentlemen.
Haley,
talk to me. Drive of the day. So, some of the people on the group were saying TDI, they're nice, lovely, quiet race, finished 6th.
Yeah.
He or she, we don't know. We also have Isaac and Valium, I think, have just put themselves right up there. With a race that was looking sort of done and dusted, and we had 2 laps of unbelievable overtaking.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I love about this GT racing we've been gifted with by Assetto Corsa. It's been the service.
And who are you going to give? Who are you going to give that drive
of the day? Oh god. I think CSX Isaac deserves drive of the day after that.
That's fair enough. You heard it in first. There you go. CSX Isaac does get driver of the day. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.